Hello, and welcome to another video of Factorio. I am Deozaan, and I have done a lot off camera. Well, I don't know if I've really done a lot, but I let the game run for several hours and did things for several hours between since the last recording. And the most notable of which, I suppose, is I expanded copper production. So almost all of this is copper production. Just this little bit is turning the stone into bricks. And then I also expanded getting the copper ore because this is running out. And in fact, I've been doing so much that I believe that my initial expansion that I went after is running low, and I actually had to expand the copper production again. Instead of running everywhere, I'll just show you on the map view. So I went and I expanded copper production here, and I guess it's not really running low, but some of these have already run out. And there used to be some down here that I've already gotten rid of. But, so it's not, there's still plenty, there's still 2.2 million copper ore here, but it's not coming through fast enough to supply all of these, so we don't have full belts, especially with these four, which I'll show you. I sent these belts, they don't even go onto the bus, they just go straight into green chips. So, which green chips has been extended all the way down to here, and it's not really producing it down this far because we don't have enough copper plate production. I also expanded the iron production, but that's doing fine. And I moved the steel used to be right here, and I moved it here where all of the steam power used to be. And then I also expanded the red chips, and they're having some problems with the green chips coming through since we're not producing as many green chips as we can. And I also expanded the blue chips, and also tried to make sure to get some green chips all the way down to the bottom by kind of feeding them through from the side here. So all of that, and I also, some more I did, I guess I didn't show you. This is some more copper that I got, and again this, and what's left of this is just not enough, so I'm probably going to expand more of that. I also started on eventually having a train depot here, or a drop-off. So what I'll do is probably go out to maybe here, or maybe even somewhere farther away, like that. Just somewhere where we can get lots of copper. That one seems pretty good. And then have a train going back and forth to pick up from the mining outpost, and then dropping off the ore here, maybe multiple trains, so we can have a steady supply and fill these belts up full. But I haven't gotten that far yet, and since I haven't really done anything with trains yet in this video, I figured it would be fun to show that while I'm actually recording, for anyone who would be interested in seeing how that works. So what I have here is, actually, right here, I'll show you. I'll set up the train. So I made some I crafted some train parts as well. So there's the engine, and well, I'll leave that alone for now. It looks like it got loaded up with some fuel from this chest. So I have a chest that's requesting fuel that can be used in the engine, and it will automatically insert or refill the the engine full of fuel. Then I have a bunch of chests in a line because for each car or wagon that's attached, which I like it in 4, so there's an engine and then 4 cars behind it. There are 6 spaces on each side of the car that can be loaded into or unloaded from. So once these are full of ore, then it will come here and drop them off, and these will unload it really quick. And to interrupt my explanation of that, to tell you what I'm doing now, is you can set the cargo. I'm kind of reserving this slot in the inventory space in this cargo wagon can only hold copper ore. That way, if I accidentally park it next to some place, or accidentally send it into, say, an iron ore mining outpost, and it gets parked there, and there are machines there set to load onto it, nothing else besides copper ore will get loaded onto this, so I don't have to worry about accidentally dropping off random things here, because I don't want copper ore. I don't want anything besides copper ore coming here and going into these furnaces. So this makes sure that only copper ore will get loaded here. But to go even further from that, I have these stack filter inserters, and they're all hooked up with wire to each other, which is all connected to this constant combinator. And the constant combinator is saying copper ore, which means basically that the filter for all of these is set to copper ore. And so if I change this, then it changes for all of the filter inserters, the stack filter inserters. So that just makes it easier from having to change all of these or set all of these. And so that is another step in making sure that nothing besides the copper ore gets unloaded at this station. And then they load it into the chests for storage, and then as available, if there's anything in the chests, these guys will load it onto the belts, which snake down, get balanced onto each of the belts below, and then head to the furnaces. And I've started referring to this kind of design as almost like a Cthulhu belt or something, because it just kind of, when I set it up with my blueprints, so I have the station. Let's see, I want to move outside of the range of the construction area, but that's kind of far away. Anyway, when I set up the station, and then I put these belts in it to unload it to one side or the other, and then have all the belts coming to one place for a balancer. These belts kind of remind me of like octopus legs or tentacles or something. So it always reminds me of Cthulhu. Anyway, more stuff that I did off camera. I can't remember how much I showed in the last video, but I know I already had this uranium mining here. But I also set up this one here, which I think was all on the last video, or maybe even the one before it. And so then the processing is here, but then I also researched the I think it's called the Covarex processing, or enrichment, or something like that, and I'll walk over there to show what that's all about. It's a long way. Okay. So basically, as you may remember, the refining of the uranium ore makes lots of these dark green uranium things, and very few of these bright green ones. And the bright green ones are the ones that are needed most for nuclear power. So what this does is this takes in 40 of the uranium-235s and 5 of the uranium-238s. Excuse me. and it outputs 41 uranium-235s and 2 uranium-238s. So basically it consumes 3 of the dark green ones to produce 1 of the bright green ones. And so basically I'm just having this system is set up so that all of these bright green ones get fed into here and the dark green ones as needed, and then any extras get popped out here and get fed back onto the belts, so that they can go through the process, and it just goes through making more and more of the bright green ones. And then to keep the belts from getting cluttered full of the dark green ones here, so that we run out of the bright green ones and they don't make it onto the belt here, I have a filter set up here that this will only grab the dark green ones off of the belt. Actually, it will always grab them off of the belt if there's space here. And then this one will grab the bright green ones off and put them on this side, so that there's always room for it to come down here and get picked up by these guys and put onto the belt. So it's kind of a lot of activity for not much going on, but that's what that does. What else to explain? I think that pretty much covers most of it. As I said, I also let the game run for several hours. Like, I even just left it running when I went to run some errands and things. And the reason for that was to get these modules made. A lot of these modules are now in these machines, which allows them to make things faster and more of them. It also uses up a lot more electricity. As you can see before, we were making about half as much power as we needed using the solar panel, and now that's what, I don't know, 20% maybe? Oh yeah, one more thing is I expanded this. Before, this was just kind of the belt factory, but I expanded it a little bit into a very partial and unfinished, what's often referred to as a mall, as in a shopping mall, because you just kind of extend this down and have belts come in off the sides to build what you need, and you just eventually you can design it so that you are making basically one of everything in here, and so when you need something you can just come here to grab it, or have your bots deliver it to you or whatever. And so a lot of the things that I had built over here, or just a few of the things that I had built over here, and I said I was just doing it temporarily, I needed somewhere else to put that, and so they ended up in the mall, like these lights and the railroad tracks. But I haven't really done a whole lot with that yet. So there are designs and people who, this plan would extend clear down to here with a whole bunch of things, basically, like I said, pretty much one of everything being built. So all of these things would be in the mall as well, but I just didn't get around to working on that yet. So last time I did have this yellow science set up before, just coming out of these chests and here, and I don't think I really changed anything with that regard. We're actually backed up now on yellow science because I've researched everything that I can, I believe, without needing different kinds of science that I don't have yet, such as the space science or the military science. And actually, it looks like here's something that I could have researched without those. And then also this one, doesn't need those yet, but I didn't want to do that one yet because it unlocks a whole bunch of other branches on the tree, and I figured I would show that off in the video, and it won't take very long to research, and that will unlock the military science packs, which I can start working on as well. So let's get that started. And it's only going to take a couple seconds. Alright, now I should probably get the military science research so I can research most of this other stuff, but basically whatever else I can research, I'm just going to start working on that. And I guess for this video, I don't know, I could either start making the military science, which probably isn't a bad idea, just so that can be going while I'm working on other things, or I could start making like a train station for the copper outpost. I think probably it's a good idea to start with military science, just so that it can be progressing while I'm away from base, working on other things. So I'll start on that. Okay, let's see. For military science, I need piercing rounds, grenades, and gun turrets. Piercing rounds require regular rounds and steel and copper. And how many do I need? This make 2 every 10 seconds, so I probably want 5 of them, so I can make 1 per second. So to support 5 of those, I need 1 piercing round magazine every 1 second. And they take 3 seconds. So that would mean I need 3 of those. And to get that many of the regular firearm, I need 1 of those. Can make 3 per second. Okay. Well, let's try this out, shall we? So this will be these. This will be those. Copper and steel. This just needs iron. Okay, how do I want to do this? I think I'll have the copper and steel here, and then I can run the yellow bullets up here to be fed into there, and then the red bullets can come out here. Let's see if that'll work. What else do we need? We need iron, gears, circuits. Wait, we need gun turrets, not satellites. Gun turrets, gears, copper, iron. Okay, and then grenades need iron and coal. Okay. We need a lot of iron to produce all of those gears and all of those, and to supply all of those iron plates. So I may want a full belt of iron, or maybe 2 separate belts of iron. Alright, gotta remind myself, this just needs iron. This needs copper and steel and bullets. So I think what I'll do actually is fill half of this with iron and the other half with bullets. And I need to upgrade this belt. Whoops. I actually want this over one more. Yeah, we'll put all of the iron on the right side so that the bullets can be loaded onto the left side. And then this needs to be copper and steel. So do copper here. Steel there. Okay. That should be all I need to get this going. I needed 3 of these. Why am I out of assembling machines? The bots should be delivering them to me. The bots are out of assembling machines? Why? If that's less than 50. Well, that's less than 50. If that's less than 50. It's not. Oh. No. Interesting. That should be unloading. Why isn't it unloading? also means I have to change this a little bit, because these two also need the steel and copper. So I think I'll do that, and then they can unload onto this. There we go. I think I'll do gun turrets next. 20 iron plates and 10 gear wheels. It takes 8 seconds, and I need I guess I want to make 1 per second, right? So I need 8 of these things. That is a lot. Iron, gears, and copper. Well, they can grab the copper. That's a lot of copper. I was going to say they can grab the copper from that belt, but it's kind of far. I mean, the long-handed inserters are kind of slow, and if they need to insert 10, I guess it only need it every 8 seconds, so that's probably fast enough. So I'll do that. And then I can have a full line of iron and I guess I'll put gears here. And I may even want another line of iron here so that the producing the gears doesn't eat from this iron. But we'll see. We'll see what's needed. Okay, this is the see what happens if I try to make some gears there. Gears. Where'd the gears go? Gears. So, it takes half a second to make one gear, and each of these needs 10 gears every 8 seconds, so every 1 second I can make 2 gears. So one of these can produce enough for 10 divided by 2 is 5. Well, no. I need a couple of these things. And actually, the amount of ore being used, the amount of iron being used isn't that bad. Maybe it's just because there aren't enough gears being produced. So, I don't know. See what happens if we try that. I have 8 of those. Looks like I'm going to need more. That looks better. Well, but maybe that's because this belt is filling up, and so these machines aren't operating anymore. Still, that should be 12 gears per second, and each of these need 10 every 8 seconds, but there's 8 of them, so it comes down to 10 per second, so that should be more than, I should be able to keep up. Producing 10 per second, or producing 12 per second, when we need 10 per second. I think that'll be fine. Okay, and now the grenades. They require iron and coal. 8. Takes 8 seconds. So we need another 8 of them. I'm kind of tempted to just do them right here. Since I already have the iron here. And then I would just need coal. Which I actually said a few videos ago that since I didn't have the steam engines here anymore, I wouldn't need coal for anything. So I got rid of the coal, the miners that were here. Oh yeah, and also because I got rid of the furnaces that used coal, and they're all electric now. So I got rid of the coal miners here, and I couldn't think of anything else I needed coal for besides the oil, which there are the miners here for that. But I guess I can use these same miners to supply coal for the science. Speaking of which, how are they doing? They seem to be doing okay, but that might change. Let's see, should I run a separate line or should I just come out of here? This. I run this one directly over. They need 5, or 10, they need 10, okay. And I'll do that here. And then they'll have to unload it over here. And then I might need more miners, because it looks like they're starting to have some trouble keeping up now. There. Okay, and now the final step is to connect all of these goods to an actual science making machines. And I need 5 of them. Let's see. I was considering putting them over here so that they could unload onto this side of the belt, but that would mean moving this belt and this belt all the way over here as well. So I think what I'll do is just set them up right here. And continue this one up, and then have this one come down. That's not going to work. this side. And just run it straight onto this belt, which will put it on that side of the belt. And there we go, military science. So now I'm going to put a requester chest here. Have it request military science. And unload it onto this belt. That way if I ever accidentally pick some up, it will automatically get put on the belt. And I've done that with yellow science, so great. That should all be working. So how come, oh, I don't remember picking that one. I guess I thought I was picking this one, but it moved after changing some of these around. So, because it used to be here, I think. But I researched something which moved these all, shifted them all over by one. So now that we've got some military science, we can do military research. But since I'm playing the game with basically all of the enemies removed from the game, military science isn't really going to do me much good. There are some benefits that I will get though. In fact, I could really use some power armor. Okay, so throw some of those in there. Now, it might actually be a good idea to make some slight adjustments to this. Now that I've put these productivity modules in all of these, they get a little bit more free research, but they're slowed down. It still says their speed is at 145%. That's just because normally they start at 250%. So, what I can do though is get some beacons. Guess I don't have a blueprint for beacons. Get a speed beacon. And place them out here to speed up the research. But to do that, I need to reorganize the power situation. again, that's why I have the auto trash thing on, so that when I do things like that, those science packs actually end up being sent to the labs instead of just ending in a chest somewhere. Yay, power armor, Mark II, and I could also use a portable fusion reactor. Alright, let's make some power armor. Now what do I need? I need 5 speed modules. Dang it, my bots just gave away all my speed modules. Stop it. Stop running away with my modules. They're mine. I have to get rid of those because the modules aren't in them anymore. Okay, so now, cha-ching, a lot more space. So I don't need those anymore. Don't need that anymore. What I do need, however, is something I can't have yet, because I'm still researching it. The portable fusion reactor. So instead of producing power very slowly, my portable fusion reactor will produce quite a bit of it fairly quickly. For most of the military science, I'm just doing whatever's the cheapest and fastest, just because it doesn't really matter for this particular playthrough. I've got some exoskeletons. I don't know if I need batteries, but I'll put them there just in case. And another portable reactor. So now with my exoskeletons, I can walk faster if I have power. These things are still charging, but once they're full, I'll be able to walk faster. That will help too. Now it won't take me forever to get around the base, and if I get on a blue belt, I can actually run against the current, so to speak. So, it should be good. Actually, I don't really need to research this stuff. Um, some of it I do need for the eventual goal of launching the rocket, but some of it I don't need. And I forgot to do these guys up again. Why not? I'll do 4 fusion reactors, 1 in each corner. And 2 more batteries, I guess. I'm not sure I'll need batteries anymore with 4 fusion reactors. Let's see how they're doing. Yeah, they can provide full power to my exoskeleton while I'm still charging my batteries. So maybe I'll add 2 more roboports. So I think I'll finish researching a couple things here, or rather finish building a few things here. While things are researching. Oh yeah, that fills up really fast. Okay, I don't need these batteries. But I also can have, or when I'm done, I will be able to have 100 robots instead of 50. So have them automatically deliver those to me. Looks like we're going through science faster than we're producing it. At least this green and red stuff, this doesn't seem to be having a problem. I wonder why that is. Oh, because we're not using blue and purple. Alright. So now my power armor is all decked out. I can move faster. I could do even more exoskeletons to move even faster, but I don't like moving too fast. You can get moving so fast that it's actually hard to control yourself and have some precision, especially if you're trying to be like just below a belt or above it or something, and you just, or between two belts. That's really hard. Like if it's like this and you're trying to get between it and you just keep going too fast. Anyway, I think that this video is long enough, so we will end it here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you felt like we actually accomplished something this time, getting the military science up and running. Next time I'll probably make a copper outpost so that we can get more copper ore coming in, and then that will involve trains and rails and things like that that are completely new to this particular series of videos. So, well, I will catch you next time. Again, hope you enjoyed it.